Hello everyone, welcome back to Data Speaks. In this part 2 video of binary classification machine learning using bank marketing dataset, we are going to dive into the dataset now. What we have already done is we have done the overview of what we are going to do in this entire series, and also we have imported necessary libraries and modules and also loaded the dataset. Plus, we have ended with looking at the first 5 rows of the dataset. Now in this video, I will walk you through in depth in the data overview section while showing you all the components of the dataset and what information it has, what hidden insights we can extract from this data. Again, quickly looking over the dataset, here df, the dataset, has age column, job, material, education, default, balance, housing, loan, contact, day, month, duration, bunch of columns here in this dataset. Given that we have the target variable yes and no. An objective here, what we are trying to predict is that yes means customer has subscribed to the term deposit and no means the customer did not subscribe for the term deposit given all of these features that we have over here. Now let's begin with the data overview. First of all, in any exploratory data analysis, we begin with df.head, and by default it's gonna show you the top 5 rows of the data. How about you want to look at the 3 rows only, or you want to look at 10 rows of the data? You can define the number of rows here, and accordingly you will be able to see the data set. Also, these are the top 10 rows of the data. How about you want to look at the last 5 rows or last 10 rows of the data? You can do df.tail and you will get the last 10 rows of the data. Looks like our data set has 45,210 record. So out of that, we are looking at the last 10 rows of the data. Same way, you can look at some representative data better than df.head or df.tail, that is df.sample. Unfortunately, they do not have any default value. So what you gotta do is just define here, you want 5 sample the shuffled indexes of the values. This is how you can explore and build understanding of the different subset of the data set. Let's say you want to look at the very first 10 rows of first 3 column of the data set. So what you can do here is df.ilock and provide from 0 until 10, which is going to be 0 included, last 10 excluded, and you will be seeing from those 10 rows, and you will see from 0, the first column, until 3. So 0 included, 3 excluded. So you will see column 0, column 1, column 2, since 3 will be excluded. This is how you can use ilock to choose different columns and different rows. For example, you want to check the row number 451 until 475 of the column number 2 until column number 7. You can do that as well. So these index value will come up for you, and these are the columns that you can see for that subset of data. So it is a really powerful and easy way to access the data set and build the understanding of the data. This can give you the capability of the spot check of the data so that you have stronger and better understanding of the data set. Here, some people in the bank account have negative balances. So these things will help you to understand what is out there in the data set. So that being said, without any delay, let's look at what additional exploratory data analysis we can do or data overview we can take. So if you want to check only the column names of the data, you can do df.columns. That will give you all the columns that you have in your data set. df.info will give you all the columns and how many non-null values you have in that each of those columns, what type of data you have in each of those columns, how many total entries you have data set, what type of data it is right now, what is loaded, how many total count of columns you have in your data, how many integer type of columns you have, how many string type of columns you have in the data set, and this will give you a information, the overview of the data in detail so that you have a stronger understanding about the data. How about some additional exploration of the dataset? We'll go with the df.describe function. df.describe function gives you the statistical description of these values. So for example, of these columns here, only numerical columns have been included. The reason, by default, df.describe gives you only the statistical description of numerical columns. So if you want to look at the categorical column, same way you can do, simply all you have to do is df.describe and provide include equals object. If you do that, you will get the statistical description or information about categorical columns. So you can just turn the orientation other way around by putting .t, means transpose. Rows will be converted to the columns and columns will be converted to the rows. So this way you can see that age has a count of 45,211 rows. The mean age is 40.93 years. Standard deviation is 10.61, and minimum 25th percentile, median 75th percentile, and the maximum value. This way you have really good understanding of numerical data plus the categorical data set in your data. So checking this level of the data set, it really is really helpful. Now you only want to write it down or print number of rows and columns in your data set. So what we can do here is we can say there are, and say df.shape 1, and that should be wrapped up shape 0 for the rows first, right? Shape 0 rows and df.shape 1 columns in the data set. Using f statement or f string, you can format your print statement much more understandable way. So this is really powerful and really effective when it comes to communicating the results of the data set. So this is how you can get quick exploration of the data. We can also check if there are missing values in the data set. So to do that, what you have to do is say df.isNA and do .sum, so that it sums up all the missing rows of the data set if there is any missing data. For example, here you have the column names and number of rows, all that those are missing in each of those columns. This gives you really powerful and stronger exploratory data analysis capability in your data set and gives you really good understanding of your data set. And the last thing we are going to do in this video is checking duplicate records in the data. What you can do for that is df.duplicated open close parentheses and .sum. That will give you the summation of total duplicate rows in the data if there is anything. So we confirmed that there is no missing values in rows, and then also we don't have any duplicate records in the data set. This is all in this video into the binary classification machine learning tutorial series in bank marketing dataset. In the next video, we will dive deeper into the dataset, and then next we will be heading towards preparing the dataset for the machine learning models. Until then, please watch the previous video, the part 1 in my channel, which explains you the overall data loading process, all the steps that we are going to take. And in the next video, we will again make progress on looking at the data, understanding and building foundational knowledge about the data set before building the end machine learning models. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, please enjoy learning.